Question of the day. What is your favorite weapon in Splatoon 3? Peeps, I have something to admit to all of you. I think I really like Splatoon 3. I know, controversial opinion around these parts, especially with the majority of YouTube being made of salmonids, but it's true. Splatoon 3 is really great. I even want to convey it to you through the power of a YouTube video. A YouTube video with no spoilers, mind you. Now, part of me wants to think logically when Cacnea isn't around to do it for me, and that part of me is screaming that Splatoon 3 just feels like Splatoon 2.5. Just like how Splatoon 2 felt like Splatoon 1.5. I don't know what it is when it comes to Splatoon sequels, but they end up feeling like patches to the previous installations instead of feeling like a completely different game to sink your ink into. Was that too gross an analogy? As someone who was there since the very first entry, you can literally see the base game build and build over the years. See? An L just fell off. The base game just gets better and better as a result. And with that, it should be obvious that Splatoon 3 is clearly the best Splatoon. That addicting gameplay loop is here with loads of maps and weapons that Sheldon will not shut up about. It really is the best it's ever been. And what I love about Splatoon in general is just how welcoming the game is to newcomers, while also maintaining a very deep learning curve for high-level play. It's an online shooter where the goal isn't to shoot your enemies, it's just to make sure the ground has more ink than their ground has. Simply genius. And even though I promised myself I wouldn't just use the roller like I did for the previous 2 entries, which I ended up doing anyway, every match feels so fresh and new. The combination of gadgets and weaponry makes every encounter truly different from the last, especially when your opponents pull out the giant enemy crab. Please God, stop, you're so broken, why won't you just die? A major fear I had for this game was that it had nothing to offer that Splatoon 2 did not. Salmon Run and Octolings were a Splatoon 2 innovation, and judging from a surface level, this just feels like more of the same. But then you uncover table turf battles! At first, I wasn't really impressed. I've seen enough card games forced into franchises to know what to usually expect. Bare bones, filler, nothing to see, but nah, table turf battles caught me off guard. It's like competitive Tetris, and really addicting to say the least. The artwork is simply adorable, and it's cool to see who you're facing off against. Oh, there you are, Sheldon. How about you bring smaller tiles next time? It's a great offline mode to run to when you're getting your butt kicked online, especially if Salmon Run is being extra brutal to you. Yeah, we all know Salmon Run is great, and Splatoon 3 only added to the greatness. The mode is now running at all times, thank God, and there are a ton of new boss enemies to fight. And yes, like I said, there are times where the mode is hard as heck. Sure, Mr. Grizz, put us on a 5x5 platform, then have us fight steelheads with 20 eggs to collect. That's a fair work environment. It's like he's trying to kill us or something. And now that we've undergone 2 Splatfests, I can say with confidence that they're really fun in this game. A choice of 3 answers compared to 2 is definitely a great way to spice up what we had before. If I had to offer criticism though, what on earth are tricolor turf wars? Hearing it aloud, it sounds like an awesome idea. A deathmatch between the 3 factions all at once? Psh, sign me up for that. Until you realize it is horribly unbalanced. I don't know who had the idea to make it 4v2v2, but it just doesn't work. You end up either getting wrecked or dominating. There is no middle ground. Stop it! Stop splatting me! I'm already splatted! Here is hoping this mode can get patched to being 3v3v3. It's obvious to do so, and everyone would thank the developers for it. And before you say it, I'm not going to believe that this game is going to crash with 9 players compared to 8. This game would actually have to be designed by salmonids to get me to believe otherwise. Speaking of salmonids, there's definitely more emphasis on them this time around in the story mode, which is really cool. Again, no spoilers, don't worry, but Small Fry is definitely deserving of the Here Comes the Boy song. Personally though, I did find the story mode to be a mixed bag. The progression of the story mode actually went a completely different direction than the previous 2 entries, and it's very appreciated. On the flip side, I felt some of the bosses were phenomenal and others just didn't live up to the behemoths that we had previously. Where is my rave? I was promised a rave. I can admit it's all subjective though. Seriously, if you've never picked up a Splatoon game before, I highly recommend Splatoon 3. If you have the previous entry, I don't think it's required to own it or anything. Although, let's be honest with ourselves, you already own Splatoon 3 if you had Splatoon 2. That's just the power of this franchise. The whole package that is Splatoon, I consider to be Nintendo's best modern IP. It just fits their aesthetic like a glove and will no doubt be remembered alongside the greats like Mario and Zelda for years to come. And most importantly, it's just fun. The game is fun. If it's not fun, don't play it. It's why bother? It's why bother, Cacnea. Have you not seen the Reggie clip I'm referencing? Special thanks to my top tier patrons, Chansey, Terror XD, and Zelda Uwu.